What's up, Design family, and welcome to another episode of FittDesign TV. On today's episode, I wanted to give you guys my personal experience on how I use the MacBook Pro 2018 as my daily driver as a professional fashion designer. Welcome to FittDesign TV. On this channel, we'll explore what it takes to make it as an activewear fashion brand, whilst providing tips, tricks, and actionable steps towards starting your own product line. Whether you're an entrepreneur looking to start your own brand or just someone interested in fitness fashion, there's something for you here. So it's 21st century, and the tech that we use typically dictates the way that we run our work lives for the most part. Being able to know what ecosystem to get yourself into and what to invest your time, hard-earned money is super important. So I wanted to share my personal experience because I do really enjoy using the MacBook Pro, and it meets me exactly where it needs to meet me on 99% of the things that I needed to do. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions, and hopefully this video will do a decent job at answering them. And I just want to preface this by saying that this isn't necessarily to knock other competitors or operating systems. This is just my personal experience that I wanted to share and be very specific, because we could talk about specs for days and compare and contrast, but if we don't get down to how something actually affects your day-to-day, it's no use. You guys want to know how I use it, why I use it, and hopefully you guys can walk away with a better informed decision-making ability about how you want to proceed. So MacBook Pro, I've been using it since 2011, different iterations of it, but here are the reasons why I really gravitate towards it, especially as a creative and especially as a fashion-based creative. Number one is for the connectivity. As someone who works in fashion, you always work in teams. It's a collaborative environment. And being able to use my MacBook right out the box to integrate with my team members, share files, share references, using three main connectivity features, which are, first, it's AirDrop. AirDrop is super easy. You open up the AirDrop app, and then you'll just basically see everyone with a AirDrop capable device around you, and that's pretty much any Apple device right out the box. You take your file, hover it over the specific person you want to send it to, and voila, you're ready. You can instantly share large files, literally gigabyte files that you're able to transfer in under a minute, under 30 seconds, and it's just a seamless way of sharing and collaborating data, whether it's that I've created a piece of content that I want to post on Instagram, turn on the light, but I want to post on Instagram, I'm able to quickly get that from my laptop onto my phone seamlessly and without having to worry about it. The second thing is a local area network that you can set up from your system preferences app or from your tab. It's super easy and you don't have to purchase any external hardware for this. It works using your local router that you have in your office or at home, and it allows you to instantly connect the different Apple devices that are on that network. So most of my team use iMacs, I use a MacBook Pro, I use it as a central hub, and it just allows us to collaborate on files without having to worry about a external setup or setting an offsite memory storage solution, or even like a third-party cloud-based system. I'll get onto cloud-based systems in a bit, but it's just a very fast and efficient way to share files, to update files. The last way is iCloud. What I love about this is it's native to Mac devices. If you have your iCloud signed into these different devices, you can enable file sharing, and what that does is you automatically sync up your files. If you made a change to a specific file on desktop A, if you allow it, it will automatically update desktop B. This is super useful, especially when you work with very dynamic types of files and you're completely altering and editing these files on a week-to-week or even like a day-to-day basis. It's very important to keep everyone up to speed, and it takes away the headache of having to figure out that solution. So that's pretty much when it comes to, from a connectivity or like a file sharing standpoint, I love it. I would not give it up for anything. Of course, Windows-based, Linux-based solutions also have similar ways of sharing, but I just love the ease of use when it comes to that integration between different devices. So not only desktop devices or laptop devices, but being able to use my iPad as a second screen natively through Sidecar. If I'm going home and I want to be able to have that extended workflow that I have in the office, I'm able to use my iPad as a second screen to put up a sizing chart or to put up color references, or just to have as an extension of my desktop. It's super useful. At the same time, if I need to do something that would require me to input using like a touch or like a stylus input, right? I'm trying to draw something graphically and digitally. I don't have to worry about doing that on a tablet and then finding a way to get it on to my MacBook. It's been very easy in the past, but now it's been made even easier by allowing you to natively use your iPad as a sort of kind of like tablet input into a variety of different softwares. Before you used to have AstroPad for that, but now you can do it natively using Sidecar, which is super helpful. And in terms of wanting to bring in a kind of like a hand touch feel to some of your work, sometimes it's necessary when you're creating fashion sketches or tech flats. Doing it through Sidecar is just a no hassle solution, which I totally love. The second kind of component that I would look at would be the aesthetic representation of like content on a MacBook. What does that mean? So obviously that's the resolution. Having a super sharp display allows you to work with patterns, prints, logos very easily without having to worry about pixelation. And just in general, it takes away that kind of like second thought of, is what's on my screen what is accurately represented? Especially from a pattern standpoint, you're able to kind of judge between the resolution that you have on your screen and what this thing would look like in real life. The other thing is color accuracy. Having a 99% sRGB color accuracy is super important, and then maintaining that conformity across the different devices that we're using, given that they're all Mac based, is also very important, because I know that the color that I'm seeing on desktop A, aka my MacBook, is going to be very similar to what I'm seeing on desktop B or desktop C, which makes that decision making kind of frame a lot more kind of effortless in that case. Maintaining conformity and ensuring color integrity is key, and it's the reason why I really like using Mac devices, specifically the MacBook Pro, which has a great screen. We'll also want to look at the kind of security features that a MacBook can offer, right? Why I love that for me is I have a lot of sensitive information on my laptop, and being able to ensure the security and the kind of secrecy of this information is key. End-to-end encryption, being able to kind of not have to worry too much about virus-based stuff or like a virus infection or any other sort of malicious activity on my MacBook is also a plus. That isn't to say that you can't get similar features or similar antivirus softwares on other types of desktops or other types of operating system, but it's just a very easy, no frills kind of hassle-free solution that you just get right out of the box, which I also really enjoy. I also want to look at one of the major kind of downgrades or negative points that people offer up against the MacBook is the availability of design resources, right? As a fashion designer, you want to be able to have all the design resources at your fingertips whenever you need, in the same capacity, whether you're using a Windows or a Mac-based laptop or desktop. And maybe in the past that might have been true. There was definitely more of a disparity between what was available on the Windows system or what's available on the Mac system. Nowadays, pretty much any developer that's creating for Windows-based is also going to create the same software for a Mac-based system. In our workflow, my workflow as a fashion designer, there's a heavy emphasis on the ideation of the sketches and taking those into a 3D format and outputting these into technical like files that factories, suppliers, anyone who's going to make a garment can understand. So the software that we use in our workflow is pretty much, we use, you could say like a notes-based app to create sketches, or Procreate specifically to create sketches, take that into the MacBook, on the MacBook using Marvelous Designer or Glow 3D to create 2D patterns, model those onto avatars, get a realistic drape simulation, take that into Keyshot, apply colors, apply materials, textures, patterns, whatever we need, and then take these final renders into Adobe Illustrator, collate all the assets we've created, and output a final tech pack that will include technical drawings that we make using CAD-based softwares like Rhinoceros 3D. As you've seen, I'm kind of going overboard a little bit, but I want to show you guys that there's a variety of different apps in our workflow. And all these are easily available on Mac, and they work phenomenally, and they take maximum advantage of the hardware. So it's not really something that I have to second guess or think about of whether or not this specific software is available to me or not. It's not something that I always have to worry about, which is also a major plus. And then really lastly, it's the overall kind of personalization of a MacBook. So what does that to mean? It means that being able to rely on the manufacturer to give me the exact spec I need, whether I'm going with a 16 gig, a 32 gig, or a 64 gig RAM because I have a specific requirement. It just, again, gives me peace of mind that I can spec my MacBook specifically to the exact workflow that I'm going to be using. And for me, as someone who consistently comes in and out of different MacBooks, and I'm going from generation to generation, I'm able to make a decision on what I didn't like before and what I need to upgrade and what is the right solution for me. So having the ability to tweak my MacBook and personalize it specifically to me is a major plus. Again, other manufacturers will offer similar kind of upgrade features or build your own laptop features, but I do think that Mac knows how to stage their upgrades or their kind of like software and hardware platform in a way that you can really customize it towards your specific use case scenario. Hopefully I'm not rambling on too much, but I did want to share these features with you guys and kind of why I really enjoy using the MacBook in my workflow as a fashion designer, as a creative in 2019, 2020. If you guys have something that I missed, a feature that you really like, something about the MacBook that you think enhances your workflow, leave it in the comments below. If you think I'm wrong, think I should switch off to something else, let me know what it is and why. Thank you guys for tuning in to FittDesign TV. Until next time, stay awesome.